Welcome in everybody to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joe Pisapia, and this is SummerSlam. That's right, hot WrestleMania, as my friend Simon likes to call it now, and I'm going to steal that line from him because he's a genius. He's also bald and handsome just like me. And guess what? WrestleMania 2 nights was not enough. No. Now WWE Summerslam is going to be not 1, but 2 nights long, which means even more opportunities for us to make some money. And Tyler Conium and my good friend Terrell Furman Jr. are here to help us break down all the matches. Will there be a cash-in? Is the injury a work? What's going to happen with the main events and what belts are going to change hands? Oh, excuse me. Sorry, Vince. Championships. Did I say belts? Oh, oops. Anyway, let's continue on here. And before we even get into what's on the card, don't forget to make us a part of your card by subscribing to the channel. That's right. Drop your comments below, like this video, and when you subscribe to Betting Pros, make sure you ring the bell till it goes ding so you never miss a piece of content on the channel, because NFL season is ramping up quickly and we're going to be here for you all fall long. All right, so Terrell, Tyler, before we get into anything, I feel like whether or not you believe Seth Rollins cashes in and who he cashes in on is really going to set up the rest of these bets here for the show. So I'm going to throw out my 2 cents. I want to see what you guys think about it, what your swerves are, because I'm not buying the Rollins injury. I haven't been buying it for the entire time. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. On top of which, I think everybody just assumes it's going to be the very easy Gunther CM Punk cash in there where Rollins takes over and we extend the CM Punk feud, and that's fine. We're kind of building towards that, but we're also building towards an ending, and we've got Cody Rhodes and Cena 2 here. The first one was lackluster, and I think it needs a little juice. And to give it some juice, especially with December looming and us wanting to turn John Cena back again into a face so everyone can cheer him in Boston in December, why not have Rollins cash in there? Why not have that happen on Cena? Then you get the Cena redemption arc. To me, if I'm betting a Seth Rollins cash in, it's going to be on Cena and Rhodes, because I think it's a little bit more of a swerve. Tyler, since your first time here talking wrestling with us, and Tyler does a lot of our social media here and a lot of other amazing things for us here at Betting Pros and Fantasy Pros. Tyler, what's your take? The floor is yours on the CM Punk cash-in. Injury real or not? Cash-in happening or no?
Thanks. Yeah, first of all, excited to be on the wrestling show for the first time. Long-time fan, first-time caller. And you mentioned something juicy there, and a lot of these title matches in the pay-per-view are juiced, so we're looking for a surprise. SummerSlam, I feel like, is always, it's sort of the mid-season finale on the wrestling calendar. You want something big to happen. You want to pull out that big swerve at some point, and I do think that the best one that they could do would be have Seth Rollins cashing in, and not on CM Punk or Gunther. I think that might be a little bit too obvious. So if you can find the bet somewhere, I do think Seth Rollins to cash in on John Cena or Cody Rhodes. I think it might be a fun bet, fun long shot, and I feel like that could be the surprise we see.
Terrell, look, I think they have a problem here, which was WrestleMania 39, super hot. You had us wait for it longer. You had the payoff at WrestleMania 40. The chase is where the money is, all that stuff. Then WrestleMania 41 comes around, and it seems to leave a bad taste in everybody's mouth. It seems to be just a little lackluster, not quite the event, and of course, anything was going to be a letdown from the year before. But it feels like things are just kind of plodding along ever since. Usually, I always know it plods along for a month, right? You get backlash, and we kind of plod along. But usually by Money in the Bank, even by SummerSlam, things have really kind of picked up. It feels like it's still in a bit of a funk, and not just because I had to watch Bill Goldberg in a match on a main event on a Saturday night. But what's your take here on Rollins and where we might be going here this weekend with that Money in the Bank cash-in?
Well, when I originally was watching the match with LA Knight, I was very disappointed because I was like, yo, this is the same move that you get hurt on. Why are you landing on your knees on this move? We know that you get hurt on this move. But I didn't think of it to be a work until I saw the Rich Eisen interview. Because I don't believe in coincidences. What are the coincidences that he has a Rich Eisen interview scheduled right after he gets hurt? Like, that was the all telltale sign that this is a work. Like, I thought it was real at first. Then I saw the interview. I'm like, oh no, this is now a work. So now I just think you guys are thinking too deep into it. Sometimes the easy answer is the right answer because it's easy. He's going to cash in on that Gunther and CM Punk match, probably after CM Punk wins, because he has said one thing since coming back every single time. I will make sure CM Punk is not a world champion in WWE. I'm going to make sure that happens. You can't have CM Punk versus Jay because they're both baby faces. You had to have Jay drop the title if you were going to go this route because he needed to go up against a heel, and you have the best in the world argument between them both. But I also went back and I saw what he said to John Cena in that match in Saudi, where he said, hey, this is not about you. This isn't about this cash-in title. This isn't about this Money in the Bank briefcase. This isn't about you. It's not about the title. It's about CM Punk. I'm going to make sure CM Punk is not a champion, and you almost lost. So guess what? I just brought you back from the dead. That is all it is. I don't think he's cashing in on Cena because he said every single step along the way, I really don't care about anything except I'm being a top-tier hater and making sure CM Punk is not a champion.
Fair enough. Those are two very interesting points of view here. What do you think? Drop your comments below. Is Seth Rollins going to cash in or not? And you know what, Terrell? You know what I thought you were going to say? I thought you were going to say it's the same move you got hurt on before, which was obviously like, oh, that's in our brains already, that's a move where you got injured. And I thought that was also a dead giveaway there too. Yeah. So we'll see. I think we all agree on one thing. We feel like the injury, in air quotes, is a work. So hopefully we do get a cash in. That'll be a fun moment there. All right, before we get into the rest of the card here, don't forget, make sure you join our Discord, bettingpros.com/chat. If you're looking to up your sports betting game, join our exclusive sports betting Discord community at bettingpros.com/chat. Not only can you connect with expert handicappers who provide you free picks for NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, you name it, we've got it, props, live betting, all of it. But you can also participate in weekly contests and picks, cast your votes to see how your picks stand up against the experts and track your success, but only at bettingpros.com/chat. That's the place to go. So let's talk about the Women's World Championship match. Naomi minus 1,000, Rhea Ripley plus 300, IYO Sky plus 600, Terrell Furman Jr. You've had your finger on the pulse here on this division lately, so why don't you take this one away? What's the pick? What's the call? And can we make some money on it?
The year of Naomi. It's the year of Naomi. This is years in the making. I am so happy. I wish that everybody could have seen my reaction when she cashed in that briefcase. I'm telling you right now, this may not be a long haul. This may not be one of the longest reigns ever. It doesn't have to be, but she's going to get her moments. And you're telling me not only did she get one moment over Rhea and IYO, but she's going to get two because she's winning this match. She's not dropping the title in the first. No, she's not dropping the title. So this is even more and more fuel to just building Naomi up over the course of this entire year. They are giving her legit work. And I have an angle of why I think Naomi's going to win, but I'll save that for a little later. But I'm telling you right now, Naomi's pulling this out for sure. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, well, it's minus 1,000, so you can't really bet it. And I think, Tyler, you agree, too. I remember a few years ago, not that long ago, we had a title defense there for Naomi against Natalya at a SummerSlam. Remember that all those years ago? Naomi can show up in those big matches, and I'm with Terrell. This one's... It's too soon to make any sort of change. I know Rhea's a big star, and the company loves IYO, as we all do. I just feel like it would be kind of one of those head-scratching, well, why'd you do all that if you're going to take it away so quickly? So this is a hard pass for me. I'm where Terrell is. How about you, Tyler?
Yeah, I got to agree with you there, too. I just think it's too early in her title reign to really change anything up there. I feel like this is kind of one of those matches where they want to get all three women on the card and doing something. So let's make it a triple threat. It should be a great match, I think, for sure. And then after this, I think all three of them probably go their separate ways. They all start digging into some different feuds there. So, yeah, it just feels like a big match for SummerSlam, which I think it will be. And for the sake of Terrell continuing that dancing, I do hope that we're right and yes, Naomi does win that. But you can't bet this match, I don't think.
More Terrell dance parties is the right answer. I find that to be the case in all things, every show I do with him. Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Look, they've done a good job of elevating this title, which it needed desperately. So the whole Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria feud here. We're getting Lyra at minus 400, Becky Lynch plus 250. Tyler, what's your take on this one?
Yeah, so I think between this match and then the Jade Cargill match with Tiffany Stratton later, those were the two, I think, toughest ones for me to predict. And then I also like to look at the odds for this because Lyra Valkyria is minus 400. You're not betting that, I wouldn't think. But I actually do think you can get some money here on Becky Lynch at plus 250. It does seem like Valkyria would be the obvious pick here. And, you know, maybe Becky Lynch drops the Intercontinental title. She goes back into the world title picture, and this is her catapult back into that. But something just I don't know. It just feels like this might be a weird spot when you look at the way the title matches are lined up on this card. You're going to have some retain. You're going to have some title changes. Rarely does WWE go all retains or all changes. So this might be an opportunity for Becky to retain there. And again, when I just look at the plus 250, when you're, looking at some plus money things here, an upset or something that happens in the SummerSlam card that could make you some money, I think this is a pretty good spot. And then maybe you can jump into a Lyra Valkyria redemption angle, or she keeps chasing Becky, because I know there's a stipulation that she can't challenge Becky for the title again. So maybe she subverts that in some way and they can get a little bit creative. So I think Becky Lynch at plus 250 is not a terrible bet.
Terrell, are you on board with that?
I don't know. I'm a little torn here because when I look at the card, I think about WrestleMania again, and I don't think that they're going to do the same thing. Bayley wasn't on the WrestleMania card. I don't think she's not making this card. So we're recording this on Monday before Monday Night Raw. So if there was some weird situation where they decide to add her into this match and this is another triple threat, I wouldn't be surprised. However, if it's not a triple threat and we go into Saturday and this is Becky versus Lyra, I mean, with the no disqualification stipulation, 100% Bayley's getting involved somehow, some way in this match. And you just got to decide which side is she going to take. Like, who is she going to cost the championship? Is she going to cost Becky or is she going to cost Lyra? Now, she was acting very, very funny with Lyra in that tag team championship match. And I don't know. So I think the Becky angle actually is interesting because I could see an angle of Bayley coming in and going heel.
Yeah, look, I agree. Bayley's involvement's going to happen one way or another. We are recording this Monday, so we'll see if they add her in. But I just don't know if they can do two women's triple threat matches, like back-to-back nights. Really, like, I know Triple H loves the triple threats, and I got to say, the highlight of Mania weekend was the women's triple threat, so maybe we should all just shut up and hope for it anyway. Let's get to the tag team match. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. Words I never thought I would say together in my entire life, unless Randy Orton was eating a Jelly Roll. And then Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. So, we always got to try to get more eyeballs on the product, right? Because WWE just doesn't have enough eyeballs or social media stuff, right, Tyler? Terrell, let's take a look at this one here. Jelly Roll has certainly gotten svelte. He has lost a ton of weight. He's in best shape of his life. Are we in a spot here, though? Minus 500 for Orton and Jelly Roll. Logan Paul plus 300 with Drew McIntyre. Now, here's the thing. I feel like, the spot here is for Jelly Roll to take the pin. I actually think this is a spot where you make money. I think Logan Paul needs to pin somebody because he gets pinned all the time. He loses a ton, which he should because that's what that kind of crap heel does. But, somebody's got to eat a pin here. It ain't going to be Randy Orton or Drew McIntyre. And that only leaves really one person. I don't think it's Logan Paul again. Pin Jelly Roll and move on from this, Terrell. That's my say. And look, if you can get plus 300 on this, I say you take it.
Yeah, that's not how these matches end. You can say it all you want. That's
get
not
Logan Paul more heat. Let him pin Jelly Roll.
Hey, if you want to go throw a pizza on this and throw it on Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, that's fine. You just lost a free pizza. That's all I can say. Because, it's clear that Randy Orton and Jelly Roll are winning this match. Logan Paul is more than likely eating the pin. Or this is going to be some more feud for what I thought some more fuel for what I thought was really going to be the match, which was Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. And then they randomly threw Jelly Roll in there and it just kind of threw things off. But so maybe it's a Randy Orton pins Drew McIntyre and that is fuel for that fire. Or maybe it's the other way around. But I feel pretty confident in saying, yeah, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll are going to win this match. The babyface always wins these kinds of matches.
You know what? It's fun that we're saying these words out loud together again. I'm listening to you say these things, and it's absurd. It's absurd. It's 2025. Tyler, what's your take on this celebrity tag match here that we've got going on at SummerSlam?
So I want to ask you guys, do you think, is Jelly Roll one of the worst celebrity performers that the WWE has done? I know Snooki was pretty bad, but she actually performed pretty well back then. But, and I preface this by saying I like Jelly Roll. I think his music's okay. I don't think there's anybody I want to see less in a wrestling match than Jelly Roll, but I do have to agree with Terrell. I think it makes sense that out of all three who are active WWE superstars, that Jelly Roll will be the one to eat the pin, but it's just not the way it goes. I think who knows, maybe you get a performance by him after the match or something.
Maybe he dresses up like the gobbledygooker at the end.
Maybe he dresses up like the gobbledygooker and comes out of a big egg. Right. I don't know. And I think the big thing too is Randy Orton. maybe a prediction is he's going to move into the world title picture after this. So even if he's not the one that gets pinned, I don't think it makes sense for him to necessarily lose at SummerSlam. And then you can keep continuing on with this Drew McIntyre burning the world down and hating everything, and that can keep that going. Maybe Drew McIntyre's pinned by Jelly Roll, and that really sets him off. There's an option there, but I do think we're going to see Randy Orton and Jelly Roll win this.
Oh, God. I totally buried in my brain that whole Jersey Shore angle. Thank you, Tyler, for bringing that back. Yeah, that was not something that I ever thought I was going to. I remember the Gronkowski moments. Those were pretty goofy.
Oof.
I just think that after Bad Bunny, like, everybody should just stop trying to get into the business.
Bad Bunny
versus Damian Priest was a great match, and no other celebrity after is gonna come to the level of what Bad Bunny did in that performance, from the entrance to the in-ring work to the story. Everybody else. Bad Bunny was amazing.
Stephen Amell when you need him. He had a match All In against Hangman, I think, and it was a hell of a match.
He's not a big enough celebrity, I guess, for that still. But they love to
Friends
show you
Cody.
every 5 seconds. Yeah, I know. All right, let's get to
I was really a fan of the Floyd Mayweather Big Show match. I was not going to lie. I was very much a fan of the
Where'd
Floyd
you stand
Mayweather
on the
Big
David
Show
Arquette
match.
championship run, Terrell? That's really
Oh, dear Lord. No.
The David Arquette death match where he almost
Moving
died
on.
in the ring.
All right, let's get to WWE Women's Championship match. Don't as if you couldn't keep those straight anymore. I hate the new name. It used to be the Raw and the SmackDown. Like, that was so much easier. One's the Women's World Championship, and then the other was the WWE Women's Champion. I mean, come on. I can't. Anyway, Jade Cargill minus 600 against Tiffany Stratton plus 350. So, Tyler, what's your take on this contest here, the last of the big women's matches so far on the card?
Yeah, so similar to the Becky Lynch match, I'm going to go with the underdog here. I'm going to go with Tiffany Stratton. And again, because I have to look at the plus 350, I know Jade Cargill is the queen of the ring. Is she going to be anointed, the next big women's star there? Are they going to replicate what they did in AEW when she won the TBS championship and just ran through the entire roster? But I just think the money, plus you're not betting her at minus 600. That's crazy, but you can get Tiffany Stratton at plus 350. I don't think that's necessarily all that terrible. She's been on a good run. I don't know what you do with Jade Cargill as champion, aside from what they already did in AEW. She's improved a little bit, and I was a huge fan of her in AEW, and still are a big fan of her, but she just can't have these 10, 15-minute matches, which maybe that's a good thing for WWE. They are trying to, improve that division there, but when I just look at the plus 350, if you're going to bet this match, I think she's closer to winning at plus 350 than Jade Cargill is at minus 600. So it is a situation where I think Jade does win this match, but if you have to bet it, you can't turn down plus 350, I don't think.
All right.
Even if you want to waste a pizza.
Terrell, where do you stand with the pizzas and the wagering on this one?
Wasting the pizza again. I'm trying to tell you, like, y'all just giving away free pizza around here, because this is the thing. We've done this for a little while now with Tiffany as champion. And every single time we talked about Tiffany's match leading up, we talked about the lackluster build to the match. Every single time we talked about her. There's a common denominator here, and I know they see it. And they're like, okay, she's had a good run. It's fine. Now we need to try something else. Now we need to do something else. And I'm telling you all, Jade Cargill and Naomi is not over because Naomi didn't get a win yet. That's how you know it's not over. She ain't get a win yet. And so guess what could potentially be on the right? First of all, I just have to say, I am be so happy to see Jade Cargill and Naomi both holding major world titles at the same time.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
What would be
It
even
nice
better
for the company to do that.
is when moving on to Crown Jewel and you have that Crown Jewel championship, because now we have to think, what's the big Crown Jewel match that we're putting on? Because we have this championship and it's got to be a match. You got to finish out the trilogy, and Naomi has to get a win. It's the year of Naomi. What is putting Naomi all the way over the top? She wins Money in the Bank. She wins the Women's World Championship. She wins the Crown Jewel Championship. She wins the Crown Jewel Championship over the biggest feud that she's had yet. I'm sold on Naomi and Jade with this final meeting at Crown Jewel, both of them holding titles. And plus the Tiffany experiment, we keep talking about it's been lackluster every single time. Like, at some point, they're going to be like, okay, she can't be the champion no more. Like, that's just it. It's over.
Well, it's tough. She's in that weird role where she's a heel character, but the crowd wants to cheer her, and she hasn't had a good foil to kind of pull that out. it hasn't worked yet, right? Put Charlotte and everybody wants to boo her. You can't make her the face. Like, that's the problem. It's like you're in a weird situation with the pairings they've done. And look, look, Tiffany's got a great career ahead of her. She's got a lot of wrestling left ahead of her. And she wouldn't be the first person whose first title run was lackluster, right? She's going to have many ahead of her. If you look at a lot of the women's, you could say, well, that first one was, even IYO, for instance, right? That's a great example. NXT runs were great, but like our first women's championship at the, main roster was a little lackluster. Like, they just didn't book it very well. Hopefully, the second time around will be better. Hopefully the chase, again, as the babyface, you want her to chase a little bit too. So I'm where you guys. I like where you're looking ahead to. Let's get to the men's Intercontinental Championship match here. I've got strong feelings about this one. Dominic Mysterio minus 150. AJ Styles plus 110. This one's close, which is hilarious. If I told you this 3 years ago, do you laugh me off this podcast? But you're going to even take it further because I am putting the minus 150 down for Dominic Mysterio. Why? Because it's good television and it's just working, and you don't muck with a winner. And right now, that's where Dom is. Terrell is nodding his head. Tyler, you are in agreement as well. Are we 3 for 3 on this one? Tyler, do you have anything to add on this frontier with Dominic Mysterio? Oh, look, it's just working. You just don't screw it up. Just keep it going, and AJ Styles will carry him to a good match because he's AJ Styles.
Exactly. I think AJ Styles is in the stage of his career now where he doesn't need any titles. He's just there to help the younger guys, elevate them a little bit, give Dominic Mysterio a great match, add something to his character where he can go out there and have that 20-minute match if he wants to and really put on a banger. And I think that's really the only reason that AJ Styles is there. Don't mess with a good thing. There's too much more meat on the bone with Dominic Mysterio as the Intercontinental Champion. I think it'd be terrible to take it off from here. And it doesn't do much for AJ, I don't think.
Terrell, anything to add there?
Yeah, and I think that we're still on this crash course of Finn and Dom. I think that's how this ultimately ends in the end. And so I've already kind of convinced myself, all right, if it's not Finn and we haven't gotten to that part of this story, then it's going to be Dom every single time, no matter who he's going up against, and even against AJ. Like, AJ's been like Terry Crews was, and everybody hates Chris. When you sleep, I'm going to be there. When you on the grocery store, I'm going to be there. When you in a match, I'm going to be there. Like, he's got him over on him every step along the way in this build. Like, Dom is going to come out on top. And the crowd is behind Dom. Whether they love him or hate him, they're behind him.
All right, next one here, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, United States Championship. Terrell, I am enjoying this Solo Sikoa run. I think this is it. And you were ahead of the curve here once again on this one. So, again, it's just 2 times in one show. So the month is coming to an end. I filled my quota of saying nice things to you and telling you you're right. After this, we go right back to normal in August. So I don't want him to give this up. I want the Solo thing to continue on. I think it's, again, good for business. Keep the chase going. Jacob Fatu is red hot anyway. He doesn't need it. Let him continue to chase. I'm good with this. I want Solo to stick. It's minus 140, and I think that's the way this one's going to go too, Terrell.
Yeah, I'm really confused on where this is going to go because I love the Solo arc. I love, like, Solo as a champion. Solo getting this push is very, very good because Solo's entertaining. But, like, how does this end? It's a steel cage. I love the stipulation, but the MFT's getting involved. We'll see some Jimmy Uso in there. Is Tama Tonga coming back? Like, what? How is Jacob losing this match? I think that's what's really more confusing to me. But, like, yeah, I'm all aboard the Solo wave, and let's just keep Solo rolling with this championship and building more and more heat because people hate Solo, and I think it's great because he's hilarious.
I think as soon as they announced the stipulation they were putting in the cage was like, oh, that's great because now Solo continues because you don't have to, pin Jacob Fatu clean. There's a million ways to get out of this. To me, the stipulation was the thing kind of telling me is like, okay, we're going in this direction. We're going to push this a little further. And I think it's the right way to go. Of course, speaking of awful celebrity wrestling moments, you could also have RoboCop show up and rip the steel cage off, like he did help Sting all those many years ago. But I wonder what RoboCop's doing these days. But anyway, Tyler, you're looking at this one here. I feel like you keep the belt on Solo and you let this push a little bit further because you can. And I don't think it's going to weaken Fatu because you got in a situation where you can get a screw job kind of ending here and keep him strong, not make him look weak, and keep this feud going because I actually think this one's good for business too.
Yeah, I agree. And this might be a deep cut. I don't know if you remember when TNA did the electrified steel cage match. I think the Dudley Boys were in it. If you touched the steel cage, you were electrocuted, but it was obviously fake, and it was these really awful sound effects and everything. So I'm glad they're not going that route for this one. But, continuing the tradition at SummerSlam of good cage matches. I do think this could be a great one. I think you always have so many different ways to go with a cage match. You can do the double foot finish at the same time if you don't want either wrestler to lose. You can have all kinds of chaos on the outside of everybody trying to get in the ring and doing all that. But I do agree at the end of the day, I think, what's the point of having Fatu win here? It just sort of kills the momentum of both. Whereas you can keep the chase going, you can lead to bigger things for both, even if it's not necessarily against each other. So I think it kind of ends the story if Sikoa wins this one here, and Fatu, I think it just deadens his momentum a little bit, even with a win. So I think you're right. I think have Sikoa win this year. You can either keep it going or keep branching it off, as they're going to keep doing with the bloodline anyway. So I think it's a great stipulation. I actually think this could have the potential to steal the show and be one of the best matches of the night, especially with all the chaos we might see. But if I'm picking a winner and I'm betting on it, I'm betting on Sikoa.
Was that against LAX, that match?
I think so, yeah. It was one of the worst things ever.
Shout out to LAX. Yeah, let's go. All right, all that we have left is, well, 2 giant championship matches. Cody Rhodes, John Cena 2. I hope the sequel is better than the first one. And I can't even blame the guys almost. It was like doomed to fail from the get-go. Looking at this right now, Cody Rhodes minus 300, John Cena plus 200. I don't know, Tyler. I mean, where are you at with this one? I just feel like are we just going to say we'll just move on? Are we going to move on? The whole Cena thing, since the moment the hug happened, after that, it was a great moment. Everything after that, to me, there's a couple good promo moments. Other than that, it's been completely a letdown, I think. And it's funny because I don't know if it's because we knew it was short-lived and we knew it was going to come to an end. Had we not known there was a date where it was expiring, maybe we'd feel differently about it. But it just felt like this inevitable, like, oh, this is fun, but it's like 5 years, 6 years too late. Whereas like the Hogan one, especially now that we're like, going back in the day and like watching stuff again, it's so red hot because it shocked everybody, just like the Cena one. Everybody always wanted to see it, just like that. But it doesn't have an expiration date, so it can go on and on. I wish the NWO did, because eventually it had one too many people in it. But what do you do here? Is it just so easy as just taking the belt off Cena and figuring out from there, or is this some sort of odd ending that we don't see coming?
Yeah, I think once Virgil, Vincent, and the Yeti joined the NWO, I think that was over there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in the same boat. I wanted the Cena heel thing to happen. It was such a cool moment when it did, and then I've hated it, and I've wanted to love it. But I think the reason that I don't like it was that it's so strange as Cena, who's an actual legitimate Hollywood actor now. It just seems so fake. It just seems so wrestling. Yeah. And it just doesn't come off as his argument of why he's doing this just doesn't feel legitimate. And I don't know if it's because, kayfabe is dead. So he's going on these interviews and he's not really doing the character. I don't know what it is, but his motivations just don't feel authentic. They don't feel organic. He's going to ruin wrestling. Then you would just not come back at all, right? Like, it just has never really made sense to me from jump. It's a cool idea, but it's just it actually reminds me, speaking of Hogan, I remember Kevin Nash did an interview where when NWO first started and Hogan's doing these, what you gonna do, brother? And Nash was like, this doesn't feel real because Hogan's cutting wrestling promos. We want it to be more real. And it reminds me of the same thing with Cena. Like, it just feels too wrestling, especially if that makes any sense.
There for him too, right? Because Peacemaker is probably the best thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
Had he done a character that was a little bit like, I'm your champion, I'm the greatest, and I'm completely out of touch, and I have no idea about reality, that's actually a character right in his wheelhouse. That would have been better. This other character that seems just kind of, I don't know.
And it's the half measure of like not wanting to really change his gimmicks. They want to keep selling the merch. Like, it just feels like they haven't been willing to go all in on it.
Which tells you it's never right. Which tells you it's like the commitment level is still tepid.
Just to do it.
So Terrell, what happens here? Do we get the John Cena plus 200 continuing to move on with the belt here, and somebody else takes it off? Because you can't have Cody lose again. Like that. That's the thing. You can't have Cody lose to John Cena twice. That's why I keep saying the match that needs the Money in the Bank is this one, because this has like no winner from this one. Nothing. There's no good I feel like can come from this again.
Well, no good definitely comes from John Cena winning. I mean, what's next? What is like? I've always felt like, one, I didn't want him to win it in the first place. When he won it, I was very intrigued in the promos because I thought the promos were crafted pretty well. And how he would play along with the crowd and all of that. Like, I actually like the promo work and what's been going on. It's just the overall. Yeah. It's the overall of like, oh, now you're randomly fighting Randy. Oh, now you're randomly fighting CM Punk. Like, there's no build in the storyline, and it's just these world tour farewell tour of matches of guys I want to have one last match with. And so it's like, okay, so what's next? Roman Reigns? You about to have a one-on-one match with Roman Reigns for the title here in 2025? Like, I don't know. So it really just hasn't been interesting. I think that Cody has way more storylines that are still in the chamber. Cody and Randy still in the chamber. Cody and Roman still in the chamber. Cody and Punk still in the chamber. Like, there's a whole bunch of storylines that Cody Rhodes can go that can lead all the way to Mania and years beyond with the title. And John Cena, like, it's just kind of over. Like, he doesn't even have dates for the end of the year. When you look at the dates that he says he's coming back left, it's like pay-per-view, nothing in between. So, like, what am I supposed to believe you're doing with a championship and you're not having these in-between dates? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So I think it's over. I think the street fight is going to be the way where they decide, and we'll see. Hopefully it's not nothing weird where he turns face again randomly, because these little face turn teases that they've been teasing, I'm just like, it just feels too quick. It feels too rushed. Like, I thought if you're going to be a heel all the way to the end, but it's not me.
I don't know. Again, it's because of the style of the match, too. I think there will be shenanigans. I just don't know which kind it's going to be. Lastly, WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. CM Punk minus 200. Gunther plus 150. Terrell, where are we going with this one? And I guess the question is, do we get the CM Punk victory, then the cash-in of Seth Rollins? Or do we get the cash-in in the middle of the match, which would, I assume, negate this wager potentially, right?
Maybe. I would assume. Definitely.
How does that work? It's not something I've really thought about, right?
I would think so, because yeah, like I didn't get to see what was the response when everybody was taking Io and Rhea, and then Naomi came through. I should have went through and saw what was the response to that. But yeah, no, I really think that it's Punk. Punk is going to win. I think that that's the reason that you had Gunther get a second reign with the title. One, because you had to do that Goldberg last match, and you needed Gunther to have a title during that match and not have it be in this random thing. And then also for him to lose it to CM Punk. You need to give CM Punk that shining moment. He's been back in WWE, and yes, he's been booking himself to lose things. Yes, the chase is fun. But at some point, CM Punk has to win, and he has to win big. He got his moment. They are getting to be the opportunity to be in this match. And then I think it's going to happen with him beating Gunther, but it's not going to be long. Like, I think Seth Rollins is coming down the tunnel immediately. And because of the fact that the match that we didn't talk about, because it's so heavily favored, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed happens right before this, even gives me more faith of, okay, those two are going to lose, fumble the bag, and then we're going to get into this last match, and then here comes Seth Rollins out of nowhere. So I very much wholeheartedly believe that Seth Rollins is cashing in on CM Punk here, and Seth Rollins will be the new World Heavyweight Champion, and that's going to be your big moment. That's going to be the thing that says, yep, you see, night one of SummerSlam was a bang, wasn't it? We got a new World Heavyweight Champion, and you thought Seth Rollins was hurt. Maybe people that kind of follow along a little bit more are seeing through the work, but a lot of the casual fans are going to be dead shocked when Seth Rollins' music plays and he walks down with that briefcase.
We're just not casual around these parts. Tyler, wrap it up for us. Gunther, CM Punk, / Seth Rollins, perhaps, question mark.
Fragile ego, fragile body, weak mind, as John Moxley put it. Coming at this from the perspective that Seth Rollins doesn't cash it in, because I do think, as we talked about earlier, that's probably the big thing we see at the end. But let's take that out of the equation and let's just say it's one-on-one. Look, you can say everything you want about Triple H and CM Punk mending fences. The reality is they hated each other for the longest time. Vince McMahon's really the one that had the relationship with Punk to begin with. And Triple H is smart. He knows how to make money. But since Punk came back, he's only 13-11. I know it's predetermined, but he's only 13-11. He's 46 years old. We saw what happened the last two times he won the AEW World title, a combined reign of about 3 hours. And he's already been hurt once fairly severely in the WWE. So do you take it off someone, Gunther, who I know he made his name for himself on the indies, but, you know, in WWE terms, you could call him a homegrown talent. Are they going to take the belt off him, put it on CM Punk, and you're getting plus 150 on Gunther? Because my big question is, assuming there's no cash in and it's straight up, Gunther loses that title, then what's next? Like, is he the one that now ends up chasing Cody Rhodes? Does he have a match with John Cena? Like, I don't know where that character goes or what he's chasing or what his motivations are.
You just can't have
Perhaps
Gunther keep losing in these big. That's the thing. It's like, he lost at WrestleMania 40. He's gonna lose at WrestleMania 41. Like, how many times are we gonna have him lose at these big events? Like, you can't
think
be a
about
monster
it.
if you keep losing all the time.
Think about it. We're having you lose at these big events because you don't lose any other time in the year. You're 85% win rate in the like, you don't lose any other time.
Walter/Gunther, what he was is this iconic, these runs that he would go on for a year and change, stuff like that. And if they're going to finally get him to that level, he's got to have a run like that at some point. So again, this is going to be really interesting to see. Punk keeps saying he's here to take pins. That's what he's here for at this stage of his career. Does he get one more championship? Maybe. And if he does, this would be the one to do it. But what do you think? Drop your comments below. Does Seth Rollins cash in? If so, on who? Drop those comments. We want to hear your predictions here. Don't forget to subscribe to the Betting Bros YouTube channel and like this video. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on for Tyler and Terrell. I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.